Mimi nataka niombe viongozi wa dini na viongozi wa Kristo na wale wengine wote tushirikiane na tuombee taifa letu, ili pepo mbaya ambayo inasababisha furugu, mali kuharibika, michafuko, fujo, hiyo pepo ishindwe katika taifa letu la Kenya. We want a peaceful nation. Tunataka taifa yenye iko na amani.
Welcome to the Kenyan Daily Report. As we are speaking right now, there is a lot of tension that is currently being displayed on social media on matters the Sabasaba Day demonstration, which the people in the government and more so leaders affiliated with the Kenya Kwanza administration led by President William Ruto have all been saying that Sabasaba will just be a normal day. Now, as we speak about Sabasaba, President William Ruto seems to be a man that even God has put him on the radar. He is being tested every corner, that every minute that he thinks that the pressure has calmed down, or people have calmed down, and the hatred that he has been receiving has cooled down, he comes to find that it is not the same when it comes to the ground. Why am I saying this? Today being on a Sunday, 6th of July 2025, Ruto was in Embu. He was attending a church service in Embu. Embu County is one of the counties that is located in the Mount Kenya East Bloc, led by Governor Cecil Barida, who is the chairperson of UDA, the national chairperson of UDA. Now, something has happened in Embu. Though Ruto had a huge and massive reception in Embu for the first time since the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, Embu County was the first place where Ruto was rejected in high numbers, and chance of Ruto must go and one term rented the air. And Ruto, he even went ahead to withdraw from ever visiting Embu County. But as things have been going, things have been returning back to normalcy in Embu County. Remember, once upon a time, Kithure Kindiki termed Embu as the new Kondele because of how the hatred of the president had risen up. But now, when when things seems to be getting in order for President William Ruto, it seems it is not the same case on the ground of how karma is dealing with William Ruto. As we speak today, in the evening, the news that are reaching our news desk is that President William Ruto's convoy, today, one of the vehicles, a Toyota Prado, soared from the convoy and hit a border rider who was carrying a young woman. And the both who were in that border died on the spot. And then the car that hit them, which was on Rutos Convoy, rolled several times. Now, what kind of signs is William Ruto even receiving from God himself? Is fate fighting President William Ruto when he thinks that things are getting into normalcy? Why is even God so hungry with this man that he can never give him just a simple moment of pleasure or a simple moment of peace? Let me tell you. And this one, I will just diverge into the Bible. President William Ruto, before 2022 general election, he was a man that was loved, embraced by the communities from the Mount Kenya region as if he was their own son and a redemption child that had been born in the Mount Kenya region. They loved Ruto, not because of what he gave them, but because they associated with him. And they felt that they owed him for supporting Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in 2013 and 2017. But when the demo started and the economy of the country started collapsing, and more so when President William Ruto initiated the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, was the representative of the Mount Kenya region in his government, that is when things went haywire for President William Ruto. And from then, Ruto has never had a moment of peace. From the year 2022, after being sworn into office in September, demonstrations began in 2023, led by the then opposition leader and Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, the leader of ODM party. Those demonstrations took months before they came into an amicable understanding between President William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga on how to solve the situations of the Republic of Kenya. Are we together? Now, Ruto, got some certain level of peace from after the negotiation with Raila Amolo Odinga. It went on for a while until the year 2024. In 2024, on June, when the new finance bill was brought in, youth of this republic rose in numbers that have never been seen in the history of this republic. Their anger and frustrations was against President William Ruto and the high cost of living that everybody was experiencing in this republic. Now Ruto, the year 2024, it was all 2023, it was all chaotic. 2024, it was all chaotic. 2025, again, chaos began from the month of May, June, and now we are in July, remembering that tomorrow is Sabasaba Day. On the eve of Sabasaba Day, where there is an anticipated demo that is supposed to take down in the streets of this country tomorrow, his convoy hits 2 people dead. Now, the good graces that Ruto had bought today in Embu, how won't that be tarnished by the vehicle that hit and killed 2 people in that road? President William Ruto has been trying to get on the good side of God. Why am I saying this? He has been trying to please God in his own way and in his own understanding. That is why the man has even started building a church using his own money in the State House, which also has angered a lot of people in the Republic of Kenya. Now, let me tell you one thing. In the Bible, also in the book of Kings and in the book of Samuel, Samuel anointed King King Saul, just a mere donkey breeder, a man that looked after his father's donkeys. He appointed him and anointed him as the king of Israel as God had instructed him. That is what happened to Ruto. He was anointed through the hustler narrative and crowned the president of the Republic of Kenya. But when Saul led Israel for some time, he became the most fierce leader of the people of Israel. Everybody, every leader and every enemy of King Saul shook in his boots when he heard the name of Saul being mentioned. The grace of God was always leading Saul. Saul won a lot of battles, but there is one significant battle with his greatest enemy. Now, before going to battle, Saul was always instructed by the seer and prophet Samuel on how he will give sacrifices to God before going to the battlefield. And he always did that. But on this battle, the last battle of Saul, which God departed from him, Saul was instructed by prophet Samuel that you will go into your enemy's territory, you will fight them, you will kill every one of them, and you will burn everything from them. You shouldn't bring anything from them in the land of Israel, the blessed land of the Lord. But Saul, after going there, fighting and winning the battle, he took captive the king of the land. He held him in captivity. And after holding him, he also took slaves from that place and brought the finest gold in the land of Israel. And that is when God spoke to Samuel. And God told Samuel that Saul had disobeyed me. And for that, I am going to depart from him. And the Spirit of God departed from Saul. And another spirit, an evil spirit, took control of Saul. And that is why Saul lost the kingdom of Israel. And there is when a new son was anointed by God from the family of Jesse, who was David, to lead the children of Israel. I give this scenario in terms of how God is playing his role in Ruto's life. Ruto is trying to please God even by building a church. But God doesn't want churches. He wants humanity. And that is one thing that Ruto has lost. And that is why, as in a day like today, when the president is supposed to be making peace and to be streamlining everything to ensure that no chaos will happen tomorrow, one of the cars in his convoy swerves off the road and hits a border rider, killing him and another person on the spot. Now, this also triggers the anger of the people of Embu again, who had started falling into the good graces of Ruto. They are now angered again. Now, tell me how these people will sit down and not demonstrate against William Ruto's leadership. President William Ruto has built a church in State House. Another question that we ask William Ruto: building a church in State House, you are a Christian president. What about if this country will come to be ruled by a Muslim president, a Hindu president, a Buddhist president, or even an atheist? These people don't believe in your religion, which is the Christianity. They believe in their own way of religion. And Kenya is a democratic. The reason why Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, Mzee Mwai Kibaki, Mzee Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, and the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta never built a permanent structure as a church in the State House is because this is a democratic country and everybody is free to worship the way they want, to follow their religion. So you building a permanent structure of a church in the State House, that means you have declared that Kenya is a republic that only serves the interest of Christianity. And that is why you saw the other day, the Muslims started calling out the president. We also want a mosque in the State House. The Hindus will say we also want a temple in the State House. Now, are you ready also to build those institutions of worshiping in the State House using your money, Mr. President? I ask you, do you think President William Ruto is cursed? Do you think God is hungry with this man to a point that he just wants him to exit from leading his people? Remember, Kenya is an anointed land, is a land where the spirit of our forefathers reigns, is a land where God has anointed his people here. It's one of the most religious countries that we have in Africa. And it is supposed to be led in the right direction. So is God hungry with President William Ruto as he was hungry with King Saul of Israel? It's up to you to leave a comment on the comment section. Tell me what you think about this. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.